WP846254. This is my vlog element for sound application. I'm gonna show you and explain what I did for the project. I worked on the soap track for the video. We recorded phone and laptop samples and manipulated them in Logic to create the track. I recorded some samples on my phone, just recording another phone and the laptop, and then manipulated them in Logic, as I said. And then I moved on to making a 3D model visualizer in Max for the video element of the track. I will go over to computer view and explain and show in more detail what I did. Thank you.
Here's the Logic project. This is the part Ashley did, and here this middle section was what I worked on, as well as this last section made from Anton's samples. All of these samples here for the middle section at the top were recorded by me on a phone, of a laptop and a phone, and then these Anton samples which were used and sampled to make that end part. What I did with all the samples is I just put a tuner on it, found out what note it was, and then put it on an EXS24 and pitched it across the keys so that I could use it for composition the same way I would use normal instruments, setting up chords and bass lines with melodies, as seen here. So you can see the chords and all of that. So here I want to break down more how I used the specific phone samples and what I did to manipulate them to create my music concrete section of the track. So here you can hear for the bass tone, this was one of the stabs I took from the ringtone. And you can hear that again. So that sound was then taken, put in an EX24, pitched down, and then with the effects it just adds more of the bass and body to the sound. And then in a similar way I utilized some vibration sounds here, which was just the phone on a table vibrating, and then pitched those to create the chords. So with that reverb and echo gives some more interest and again body. A similar thing was done with the rhythm sections. So when working on the track, I kind of split the samples up into the shorter rhythm hits like the camera snaps and tapping, and then the tones that I could use for making chords, melodies, bass lines and the like. But with my percussion I also pitched them down, so like the kick drum is a tap that's just pitched all the way down with some EQ and compression to bring it up. And here the other percussive sounds like the camera and the taps. The taps are pitched up to sound like a hi-hat obviously, but you can hear the camera's pretty similar. Here's the Max Visualizer project. These are the laptop and phone models. You just drag the .obj in and you can change the color of the background here, as well as toggle the effects that you want on and off, and the start and stop, and a global amount slider, so the more or less you want the models to react to the sound. So none doesn't do anything, more does slightly more, as you would expect. Now I'll have a look at the proper view. This is presentation view. So in the back here you can see the audio is routed out here through that global amount slider, and then the audio is sent and received by these reasons, which are band filters that select the frequency of the sound that part of the model is going to react to. And then it's routed in with that if, so if it reaches a certain amplitude, it then goes in and triggers the sounds. They all are routed to different places, so it's received by different parts of the patch. And then each trigger, if it reaches that thing and causes a bang, will then output a different message sent to the object that then changes what it needs to. So for this one, it was tilt. For others, it could be the scale for the pulse. Here's the look at the scale on the inside. So when you receive a bang, it creates a random number that then makes it slightly bigger. For the camera, the bang is sent into here, which then cycles through counting, which triggers the different camera positions as it loops through. And then over here, this is for the laptop model. And here's the scale for the laptop, but because you can see here that it's bigger, it has to be bigger than for the phone. So when the bang is sent in, they change, but differently to the ones that change for the phone. The phone, it increments slightly smaller because the size of the draw group doesn't change, it's the same. But I had to scale it up for the laptop to make it look a bit bigger. The rotation for this one also is different, so I had to make that number different so that it tilted only slightly instead of going crazy. This section here is to send and change the background color once you edit that. And this stuff over here, it was to record the screen video and it receives the audio in there. There's only one draw group for the laptop and then a big main JIT model that isn't any draw groups. And what these draw groups do is allow me to assign a color to that layer. So here it's the black screen, and then for the phone you've got the grey body of the phone with the black front screen. That just allows me to give color to the models. Here's a demonstration of the visualizer accompanied by a snippet of the part of the track I worked on. So why did we do any of this? For the initial idea, we wanted to explore the role of smartphones in modern society with a sub-exploration into perception, but due to circumstances the idea had to change to a more relevant staying connected in isolation. And for this, we wanted to create a piece of music concrete using the communication devices that are allowing us to stay connected in times like these. With a backing video for the track, for the final visualizer I used the full track with all of Anton's additions and put that into the visualizer and created the new recording with the green screen for Ashley to use. I made it a green screen background so Ashley could easily edit in backgrounds and other text overlays and make the integration process into the final video easier. But the final visualizer that you're seeing now is reacting to drum stems just to demonstrate how the shapes move. So when you can hear the percussive sounds, the higher elements are on the phone, the lower elements are on the laptop. So they move based on when the amplitude of those frequencies reaches a certain point. So they react to the sound real time. This element is then put on top of the green screen to be added as a kind of background element to the main video of the track.